All righty. Well, hola, buenos dias. Feliz martes. I'm going to remind you now in case I forget at the end of class. After third period, go to homeroom. Homeroom, homeroom. We all have to remember homeroom. Okay. ¿Cómo están? Couple thumbs
Bien.
up. Bien, bien. All right. Plugging along, plugging along. So let's see. Trying to think if I have any random announcements. No, I did have somebody that was having a hard time getting the textbook assignments online. So if your thing is spinning and spinning, it's probably a Wi-Fi issue. So my first thing is to that I always tell you is just try again later. Okay, if that does not work and you're not able to complete these assignments, let me know because I can email you a hard copy. All right, so you can always do it that way. I don't want you to not be getting your points when I assign things on the textbook because you can't access the textbooks. You just have to let me know though. So don't tell me here, you got to send me a message and then I'll just send you a hard copy back. All right, so yesterday, past couple days, you had a vocab thing on Friday and then you had some STEM changers yesterday. What I will say on those is, you know, I'm looking for your effort. I know on some of them you have to write some sentences. If you want to just write a couple sentences and not go overboard with the sentences, that's fine. I'm really just seeing, you know, I want to see that you can conjugate your verbs, all right, that you understand stem changing verbs. So please make sure you still look at that if you didn't today, if you haven't yet, and make sure you're staying on top of that. Ok, so vamos a continuar hoy y necesitan la lista de vocabulario. Por favor, saquen la lista de vocabulario. Y yo tengo 3 preguntas para discutir y después van a escribir y por último vamos a hablar. All right. So I always try to keep things going back to actually using these things. And making sure you are able to do that. So let's take a look at what I have first. Primero tengo, ¿cuál es tu clase favorita? Quick translate on that one. ¿Cuál es tu clase favorita? Now, keep in mind, this is a big class. I got some people with a ton of points. I got some people with a few. And I got a couple that don't have any, but usually that's because you're not here very often. But I am going to specifically try to make sure that I am getting everybody in here. So if I'm ignoring you, it's nothing personal. ¿Cuál es tu clase favorita is going to Charlie. What's that one mean, Charlie? JK, it's going to, oh, no, Charlie. How about Mayana? Mayana. All right, guys, if your camera's off, I have to assume you're there. Otherwise, you're going to get a 0 on participation. Okay, how about Sam? Just going down the list. So you know if I'm saying your name, you could use a point or two. Sam, what's it mean? You there?
Yeah.
Okay, yay.
What's the question?
Say it again.
What's the question?
Oh, I just want to know what this means. ¿Cuál es tu clase favorita?
Wow. My favorite class.
Yeah, it's just, you don't have to answer. I just wanted to know what it meant. That was all I was at. So what's your favorite class? Good. All right, somebody, let's see. Let's go through, actually, let's back up in that and let's say, okay, Haley, no worries. So let's answer that one. All right, so ¿cuál es tu clase favorita? We did this last chapter. We talked about ¿cuál es tu restaurante favorito? And then we did it, we did a couple of different favoritos. So let me just remind you when you answer it, you have to say me, and then you keep it in the same order, clase favorita. Okay, remember in Spanish, I don't want to see you switch them. All right, don't tell me mi favorita clase. You got to keep it mi clase favorita. You'll also notice that clase is la clase, so we have favorita. All right, somebody want to give me a sample of what that would look like in Spanish? Answer my question. In Spanish, answer my question. Quentin, go ahead.
Mi clase favorita es español.
Perfecto. Extra perfecto because you said Espanol. No pressure. All right, let's review how to say a couple classes. Somebody want to tell me, I don't even need you to raise your hand. If you want to just unmute it, that's fine. How do we say English class? La clase de
Inglés.
Inglés. Good. How would I say math? La clase de
Mathematicas.
Matemáticas. How would I say science? La clase de
Ciencias.
Ciencias. Good. For social studies, you can either say las ciencias sociales or keep it simple. How do we say history? La clase de
Historia.
historia. If we want to say anything musical, unless you know how to say it, let's just say la clase de música. If you want to say gym class, you say physical education, but we know in Spanish we switch it. So you're going to say education physical. What is it? La clase de I'm going to help you with that one. Okay. La clase de educación física. Educación física. All right. I think those are the highlights. If there's another class you want to talk about, put it in the chat and I'll make sure you know how to say it. Okay. All right. Let's go on to número dos. Dos and tres, I want you to use your vocab on. That's why I had you get out your vocab. Okay. So dos says, ¿cuáles son dos reglas de tus clases? ¿Cuáles son dos reglas de tus clases? Let's see. How about going back to, and again, see, the problem is if you don't have your camera on, I don't see you and I can't see your hand. So don't forget, you can always raise your little blue hand. Okay. And I'll try my best to get you called on because I don't want you guys to not get your points in. Let's see. How about Jemiah? Want to tell me what number 2 means? Okay. How about Nick? Where are you at, Nick? I think you're here somewhere, aren't you, Nick?
Doesn't that mean like what are your two like of your regular classes?
Okay, go to the word reglas. You looking at your vocab list? As soon as you see it, you'll be like, oh yeah, because we've been working on those.
Yeah, let me pull it up.
While he's figuring out what it is, if you know what it is, look it up because I'm going to want an example here. Look up a good vocab word so you can give us an example. All right, go ahead, Nick. What was it?
What are the two rules in your classroom?
Yeah, so rules, right? Yeah. What are 2 rules in your classes? All right, so I've been giving you examples of how to say like one must ... or you should not, like it's prohibited to do something. So what are your 2 starters here? I want you to stick with these 2 starters so you have a good way to start these out. Charles, how would I start it, either whether it's positive or negative? You're having problems.
I think one was high K or something like.
I-K. All right, that H is silent. So if you have to do something positive, I-K, right? So you need to, I don't know, raise your hand, or you need to listen or pay attention, or one of those, okay? I-K. Remember, this verb you do not conjugate, okay? So don't change it. All right, how about the opposite? If you want to tell me something you should not do. You should not do. Muta?
Se prohíbe.
Okay, so your other starter is going to be se prohíbe. Alrighty. And finally, ¿qué necesitas hacer para sacar buenas notas? What am I talking about there? What are buenas notas? Zion, what are buenas notas?
Notes.
Okay, you're on the right track. It does look like notes. What's buenas mean? What's bueno?
Good notes.
Good. Okay, now in English, we don't really say we want you to get good notes. We want you to get good what?
Grades.
There it is. Good. All right, so now I need some things to do to get good grades, and I would just use what I have started here. And let's start it with necesitas, and then you come up with some things. Okay, again, because I have my verb here and my verb here and my verb here, I don't have to do anything to what comes next. All right, so I want you to use your vocab. I want you to come up with some good answers. All right, let me tell you where I want you to put these answers, and then we're going to share them, so you need to be ready to share. If you go to my current lesson for today, okay, it looks like this, discussion questions, there they are. And look, I actually have a place I'm gonna have you submit these today. Okay, so once you go ahead and click on discussion questions, please answer the following complete sentence in Spanish. And go ahead and just type them in there. So I'm gonna set my timer for about 5 or 6 minutes. I want sentences, and I will leave these up on the board. So you can see this one, right? You kind of just use this to start it. These, you use these, and that, you use that. Okay, please make sure you got 1 thing here, 2 here, and go ahead and give me 2 here. And I want you to use your vocab. So come up with some good sentences, get in some vocab words there. Any questions? Do you understand what I want you to do? Okay, so you're going to turn them in, but I also want you to be prepared to share. All right, so keep that in mind as you're writing. I'm going to stop talking. You got 5 minutes. If you have a question, put it in the chat. I'll keep an eye on it. All right, ready, set, go. Number 1, I want you to keep it simple. All right, I do not want you to look up something like stay on task. All right, to me, if you're looking at your vocab list, you could probably like categorize that into pay attention, and then just use your vocab word prestar atención. All right, you're only in second year Spanish. I don't need you to do fancy things. When I say keep it simple, like just kind of break it down and use something that either you know how to use or is on your vocab list. You don't have to work that hard. All right, and I don't want you to, because then you're just using complicated things. All right, so for that one, just make it something like pay attention. All right, I would like to get a few examples together, make sure you got some good answers, give you some participation points. And then I do want to use these, but I'm probably going to come back to them tomorrow in the interest of time, because I have something else that I still want to talk about today, and I just don't want to get rushed. So let's share some together, and then we're going to come back tomorrow. I'll let you work on them with a partner. So can I get a few examples for ¿Cuál es tu clase favorita? ¿Cuál es tu clase favorita? If you haven't gone today, I'd be happy to take a volunteer. I picked on everybody that I needed to for now. So get your hand up, and your little blue hand is fine too. I'm going to try and look for those blue hands, because sometimes I get people that I can see get a lot more points than the other people. So I'm going to start with my blue hands, but I'll make the rounds. Deja, go ahead.
Mi clase favorita es ciencias.
Muy bien. And I liked how you kept it in the right order. Everybody check your work. You can change it if you need to, even if you already turned it in. Mi clase favorita, right? The clase comes first, and because it's feminine, favorita, and she said es las ciencias. Good. Abdullah, want to do one? ¿Cuál es tu clase favorita?
Mi clase favorito es matemáticas.
Okay. Mi clase favorita es matemáticas. Muy bien. All right, let's go on to number 2. I'll get some more examples for 2. ¿Cuáles son dos reglas de tus clases? You can just give me one. So let's hear some good examples of some rules. Okay, either start one with IK or se prohíbe. Let me get some good suggestions. Tegan.
Hi K, prestar atención en la clase.
Perfecto. Hay que prestar atención en la clase. Good use of vocab too. All right, somebody give me another one. I want a bunch here. I want 2 or 3 positives, 2 or 3 negatives. All right, Muta, go ahead.
Se prohíbe dormir.
Okay, se prohíbe dormir. Good, and I like how neither one of you conjugated that verb. Dormir and prestar atención. Good. All right, give me another one. Give me another one. Give me another one. Looking for a little blue hand or Vanessa's hand. Go ahead, Vanessa.
¿Se prohíbe usar el teléfono en clase?
Okay, se prohíbe usar el teléfono en clase. Muy bien. Se prohíbe usar el teléfono en clase. Sylvia, got another one? You're still muted, honey.
Se prohíbe comer.
Good. Se prohíbe comer. Sounds good. All right. Let's move on. ¿Qué necesitas hacer para sacar buenas notas? ¿Qué necesitas hacer para sacar buenas notas? What's something you can do? Everybody just wrote them down. Raise your hand, get a point. Quentin.
Necesita el estudio.
Okay, I'm gonna fix it up just a little bit. I just want you to use the verb estudiar. So necesitas, use this verb, and then just keep the other one estudiar. So say it one more time for me.
Necesitas el estudiar.
You don't even need anything in there. Just necesitas estudiar. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. What else? Give me another one. I mean, I know you have one. You wrote one. You turned it in. Get a point for it. Tegan.
Necesitas estar en clase at.
Good. Necesitas estar en clase. Be in class a tiempo. Good vocab word. On time. Good. I want a couple more. Buddy, want to volunteer or my choice? My choice? My choice? All right. Be ready. Here it come. Let's go with, who haven't I heard from? How about Reddick? Got one for me?
You said number 3.
Yes, please.
Necesitas hacer una pregunta.
Good. Necesitas hacer una pregunta. You need to ask a question. Great answer. How about, I don't know, Elizabeth, you got one?
Necesitas poner atención en clase.
Okay. Necesitas, I didn't hear your verb. You kind of cut out. Did you say prestar atención? Or, okay. Necesitas prestar atención en clase. Muy bien, muy bien. How about Lucky? How about Tucker? You got one, Tucker?
For which one?
The third one?
Necesitas prestar atención.
Good. Necesitas, make sure you have an R on the end. Press star because you don't need to conjugate it. Necesitas prestar
All right.
atención. Good job. Deja.
Necesitas entregar la tarea.
Good. Entregar la tarea. Good vocab. Turn in your homework. All right, Charles, last one.
Okay. Necesita pedir I cannot say it.
Ayuda.
Ayuda.
Good. Pedir ayuda. Good vocab word. You need to ask for help. Pedir ayuda. Muy bien. All right. Sounds like we got some good answers. Be prepared. Make sure you turn those in today, and then we'll come back to them, and I'll let you share them tomorrow with somebody. All right? Okay. So I have one last topic. It's not a major topic. It's a topic that I want to go over with you. And I try to be honest with you. Honestly, like conjugating verbs, major topic. Stem changing verbs, major topic. What we're going to do today, I mean, you know, it's important. I want you to recognize it. I want you to understand it. But it's not like a huge major thing. All right. So let me take a minute, not a minute, probably 5 minutes of your time. Let's go through this together and make sure you understand it. So if you would go to my current lesson, under number 2, it should say palabras, maybe negativas, and I want you to pull that up. If you are able and you want to print it, you can go ahead and print it. If not, you can kind of just jot down with us, just save it, you know, on your desktop, or maybe put it in a Google folder, and we'll go through it together. All right, so it looks like this, palabras negativas. Everybody there? Okay, keep your vocab handy because the reason I've left these blank is because part of this is vocab. So let me just kind of give you the overview here so you understand the idea here. All right, we have positive words and negative words in English, okay? Positive words, positive things, you're telling someone to do something. Negative things, it's not like a negative, like a bad thing. It's just, you know, you have words like nobody and never and none versus somebody and always and some. All right, so that's what we have. positive and negative words. The positive words work the same way as they do in English. The negative words, we use what's called double negatives. So when you are learning English, or especially like, you know, official standard English in class, you are taught you don't want to use a double negative. You don't want to say, I don't know nobody, or he don't know nothing, right? So in Spanish, you actually do use double negatives. So it's a little bit interesting. I'll show you what that looks like. And I just kind of want you to be aware of it. I want you to recognize it and be able to form it, but it's not like I'm going to ask you to write me a whole paragraph using these words because that's weird, right? I just want you to kind of recognize it. So first off, let's fill these in. All right, I'm going to fill them in with you. And I left, like I said, these couple blank because they're vocab words. Never is actually from your review chapter, but nobody and none are on your vocab list. So again, get your vocab list out so that you can help us fill these in, and you fill them in on your paper. And, you know, again, if you are able to print it out and you need to go run to the other room to pick it up or something, that's fine. Well, so let's go through them. So you're looking towards the bottom of your vocab list. It might be a little hard to pronounce, so we'll work on some pronunciation here of these. Somebody want to tell me, how do we say nobody? You got to be looking at your vocab list, and then raise your hand real quick. I'll call on you. How do you say nobody? Nobody. Lamaya.
Naughty.
I'll help you with the pronunciation, but I know you're looking at the right thing. Okay, so it's actually nadie. I'll help you up. We'll do a little repeat in a minute. So nadie is nobody. Good. Never is from your review chapter. Anybody remember never? I never want to do that. Never. Never, Victoria.
Nunca, right?
Perfect. All right, so let's fill in nunca here. Oops. Nunca. All right, and how about none? Again, it's straight off your vocab. There's a couple different ones because you'll notice it has to agree in number and gender. Somebody just give us one. What's it say on your vocab list there? You're looking at your list. Help me out. Raise your hand. Literally just reading it off your list. Anyone? Anyone? Hello? Who's looking at their vocab list? Oh, thank you, Quentin. Goodness.
Ninguém.
Yeah, it's a funny word. I'll help you pronounce it. Ningun. Ningun. All right, and what we have there is that you have ningun if it's none. And then if you're talking about something specific that's masculine, I'm sorry, if you're talking in general about something, it would be ninguno. Or if it's something that's feminine, like that you don't have any of, or if it's plural, like I don't have ningunas manzanas, I don't have any apples, right? So that is going to reflect number and gender. All right, so we've got our negative words here. So make sure you've got them filled out, written, and I'm going to have you repeat them. Again, I don't have to hear you repeat it, but please say it out loud yourself. Some of these are a little hard to pronounce, especially 1 and 3. So, repitan, nadie, nunca, ningún, tampoco, nada, ni. All right, so those are our negative ones. All right, let's look at our positives. So again, you got to help me out if you're looking at your vocab list. Tell me, how do you say somebody or someone? Somebody or someone. Wave at me, I'm looking at you. You can tell me. Someone. Go ahead, Charles, you looking at it?
It is alguien.
Yeah, alguien. Alguien. Good. All right, somebody has to remember this one because it was on your first list. How do we say always? Like I always do that, or I never do that. What's the one for always? Always, always. Go ahead, Sylvia.
I thought I knew it, but then I didn't.
Starts with an S. Does that help?
Siempre?
Yeah, good job. See, you knew it. Siempre. And last one, some. Buddy looking at it? Some. some. Abdullah.
Algun.
Okay. Where's your, get your point here. Okay, got it. All right. So in the same thing, if you want to kind of note, you have algún like someday, algún día. And then if you have something like you're just saying, oh, I'll take some, you might say alguno, algunos, okay, I'll just put os, ah. All right, so you got some choices there. Okay, so let me go through these with you. Repitan, alguien, siempre, algún, también, algo, oh. All right, so we already mentioned we're going to use these double negatives. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. I have a cheesy little word wrap for you. That will be even cheesier because I can't even do it with you and make you do it with me. But anyway, I'll do it for you. It just helps you remember the order of the words here. All right, so you have two choices. That's why there's an or in the middle. You either do no plus the verb plus the negative word, or the negative word plus the verb. I know, it's catchy. I'm going to do it one more time for you. Ready? No plus the verb plus the negative word, or the negative word plus the verb. All right, what does that mean? Here are my examples. Okay, so first of all, you look at a sentence in English. I don't write anything. Immediately in your head, you put it into a double negative. So you say, I don't write nothing. So then you need the order. I'm doing no plus the verb plus the negative word. So look, no plus the verb, escribo, plus the negative word. And I changed anything to nothing. And I went up here and look, nothing is nada. So that's how I came up with my sentence. No escribo nada. I don't write anything. All right. I never write. Okay. Nunca, negative word, plus the verb, escribo. Now I could have also done no escribo nunca. Okay, so you have some choices. All right, let's try we don't have anybody. So first of all, in your head, you're changing this to we don't have nobody. Then you're going to do no plus the verb plus the negative word. What's the negative word for nobody? Somebody unmute and just say it.
Nadie.
Nadie. Now it's a funny one, nadie. So no plus the verb plus the negative word. No tenemos nadie. So two things to remember. One, we made it a double negative, and two, the order, just this yellow bit. Okay. All right, let's try one more. You got two options here, so I'm going to do it both ways. All right, nobody has the scissors. It's already negative, so we need no plus the verb plus the negative word. So we're going to say no plus the verb, no TNA plus the negative word, nobody. Go back up here, nobody, we just did, nadie. Oh, and then we need the word for scissors. Somebody unmute and tell me scissors. Help a girl out, just unmute. I'm not looking at you, just unmute real quick.
Tijeras.
Thank you. All right, so again, no plus the verb plus the negative word, or negative word, so we need the word nadie plus the verb las tijeras. All right, so you got a couple examples there. So no plus the verb plus the negative word, or negative word plus the verb. There it is. All right, so make sure you got your notes copied down. I will drop them also in class resources completed. So I'll drop them in with the right answers, but then you can kind of see where this is coming from. Okay, I'll leave that up for one more second while I kind of wrap things up here and give you a couple of reminders. So I do have one last textbook practice for you on this. I think it's pretty straightforward. Like you go through and you have to decide just, is it a positive sentence? So does it use one of these words, or is it a negative sentence? Does it use one of these words? Okay, then they might make you pick one of the words, but they give them all to you. So I think it's pretty reasonable. I think it's a good, just quick review for you. And again, I am not concerned with you being able to write out all these fancy sentences. I just kind of want you to recognize them and understand that you need a double negative and kind of the order that it goes in. All right. So tonight, please do that guided grammar for your homework. It is in the textbook. If you did not do the ones from yesterday or you're not quite finished, please finish those up. And then the next 2 days, we're just going to be reviewing for your quiz coming up on Friday. Okay. Please stay on if you have a question. Otherwise, let me remind you that homeroom starts at 11. So don't forget to go to homeroom in 10 minutes. Okay. All right. Stay on if you have a question, or if you just put something in the chat, I'll look at it real quick. Otherwise, hasta mañana.